Hello everyone, Tom with Capo Fetish. Today I'm going to talk about 10 great 1980s alternative guitarists. And I've picked these 10 because I feel like they've been very influential to subsequent generations, and they're just stellar guitarists who created a whole unique way of playing. So without further ado, they're not in any kind of ranking. I cannot rank these guitarists. They're all special and unique in their own way. But I thought I'd start it off with a guitarist named John McGeoch. He was in a band called Magazine in the late 70s. Also, after that, he went on to play with Susie and the Banshees, and then did a quick stint with PIL. But I think his best work, though, is with Susie and the Banshees, especially on these two albums, Juju and Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope came out in 1980. And he's on songs like Happy House, Trophy, Hybrid, Christine, and I really think he makes his mark, his real mark, on Juju. The song Spellbound, that opening guitar riff is just absolutely amazing. And his style was very unique at the time. Before The Edge, before Johnny Marr and those types of guitarists. He had this whole kind of lyrical way of playing. The guitar was very flanged out, not distorted, kind of a clean sound. A lot of arpeggios, almost kind of cinematic style of playing, a lot of color to his playing, just very unique. I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He died maybe about 5 years ago, I believe, but he is definitely an important part of the 1980s post-punk guitar sound. And I think if you were to pick up any one of his albums that he's on, this would be the one, Juju. Just an incredible atmospheric album. Dark, but atmospheric, with very, very unique playing. So I'd say John McGeoch is in the top 10 easily. So Juju and Kaleidoscope from 1980 features some stellar work from John. Another great guitarist is Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr. A lot of people, they came out in the mid to late 80s. A lot of people like early stuff like You're Living All Over Me, but I really prefer his Dinosaur Jr.'s early 90s works, like Green Mind from 91. And I especially love Where You Been. I believe this is from 93. So Jay Mascis, his style is more, I guess would you say, influenced by Neil Young, but he takes it a step further, adding even more volume. It's all about volume and distortion and a lot of string bends, and his solos, they're even though they sound noisy, they're actually very melodic. And there's one particular tune on Where You Been called Start Choppin'. I think it's the second song. At the end, he just blows the roof off with this just amazing solo, which he does on many songs. But this is one particular solo I really love, Start Choppin'. Another one off this album is Get Me. I think it's track 1 off side 2. Just more great guitar playing. And, you could find his guitar playing throughout the entire Dinosaur Jr. catalog. It's very unique. Very loud, very distorted, and very just rips your head off. You have to be in a certain mood for it, but I just love his playing. It's amazing. So I'd have to put Jay Mascis in the top 10 here. And this is a great album. Another one, too. This was kind of a semi-commercial hit here, Without a Sound, which had the hit on it. Give me one moment. I know what you're thinking here. Let's see. Feel the Pain. It's a song that got a lot of airplay in early 90s alternative radio. But yeah, Jay Mascis, he just rocks. Another one, too, who doesn't get a lot of credit is Joey Santiago from the Pixies. This is the album Surfer Rosa. His style is very, it's distorted, but he's doing a lot of just accents on particular parts of songs. It's really hard to describe his playing. It's not flashy, but it adds a lot to the Pixies sound. A lot of the Pixies sound is attributed to Joey Santiago. Tracks like Monkey Gone to Heaven off Doolittle. You got his showcase on Vamos on here, where he's kind of attacking the amp. Songs like Bone Machine, Where Is My Mind. He's doing a lot of cool little things. So Joey Santiago, really great, especially on this album, and Doolittle is where you find his true sound and his talent. So Joey Santiago, another great unique 80s alternative guitarist. Another one too is Bob Stinson of the Replacements. This is their first album. Sorry, Ma forgot to take out the trash. Bob's unique style is all over this album. You know, in later Replacements albums, you know, leading up to Tim, Let It Be, and Tim, Westerberg was taking over more. He wasn't featured as much, but on this album and on the Stink EP, Bob's kind of in the moment playing is all over this. On songs like Taking a Ride, on Hootenanny, Color Me Impressed. He just kind of had this kind of in the moment, incredible style of just feeling the moment and just cranking out just really unorthodox guitar solos. So I think Bob Stinson is another one worth a mention here in this top 10 list. I think he influenced a lot of 90s guitar players. I mean, so many, I can't even name them off the top of my head, but I mean, if you listen to 90s alternative guitar rock, Bob Stinson is all over it. So Bob is another great one. On a completely different level, you've got Dave Gregory of XTC. Even though XTC came out in the late 70s, most of their great work, let's face it, was in the 80s. His guitar playing is completely more, he's more of a studio player. I mean, Dave Gregory can play just about any kind of style. He doesn't get a lot of parts in songs to play on, but when he comes in with that rare solo, it's just unbelievable. One being off Skylarking here, that's really Super Girl. He pulls off this just amazing solo. A few other ones too is that Wave off of Non-Such, incredible guitar solo. And then he adds a lot of chimey kind of guitar, Rickenbacker sounds on English Settlement. Black Sea, he's at his rockin' best along with Andy Partridge doing the two dual guitar thing going on. But Dave Gregory is one of the most underrated guitarists, not just in alternative music, but just of all time. He's played with a lot of other people like Amy Mann. And a couple of other songs too that he does a really amazing solo on is Reel by Reel off Drums and Wires. And there's a song off the Rag, Bone, and Buffet compilation from 1990, a song called The World is Full of Angry Young Men. Almost sounds like a guitar solo off a Steely Dan album, but yeah, Dave Gregory right here. Just a brilliant, phenomenal guitarist from XTC. Another great one in the top 10. Of course, I have to bring up The Edge from U2. I was a monster U2 fan for the first couple years of the Boy album, October War. But I don't think you can find a better example of The Edge's playing than on this album here, their debut Boy. I mean, it's a completely new, different sound in the 1980s. When I heard this album, I've never heard a guitar sound like that. To me, what drew me to U2 was The Edge's guitar sound. Songs like I Will Follow, Twilight, In Cat Dub, Out of Control. He's not doing any crazy guitar solos. It's all about ambiance, effects, reverb. Songs like The Electric Company, which was an incredible live staple at that period of time. You know, just what he does in the beginning with that riff is amazing. Songs like A Day Without Me, Another Time, Another Place shows off his brilliant style. Now, I'm not a fan of U2 anymore. I was a huge fan in the early days, but I still rank The Edge very high on the list of 1980s alternative guitarists. He influenced a lot of people. And, you know, let's face it, the guy was just absolutely brilliant. He came up with something brand new that no one had really done up to this point. Of course, he was influenced by John McGeoch, but he put his own stamp on it and really drove it home, this guitar sound. So, yeah, The Edge, you have to mention The Edge in 1980s alternative music guitarist. Then on the other side of the coin, you've got, from LA, you've got the just incredible Billy Zoom from X with his rockabilly licks. You know, a lot of people just consider him like a rockabilly guitarist, but he can play so many great styles. He's got the Chuck Berry thing going. He does glam type guitar on songs off this album, off Wild Gift, like Universal Corner. He does this incredible opening riff on Beyond and Back. Sounds really complicated. He's playing it really fast. And then he can do like hardcore stuff like We're Desperate. Off Los Angeles, I mean, he's just absolutely rocking from the start. Your phone's off the hook. When he does a solo, it's just picture perfect rockabilly. guitar. He's never makes a mistake. When you see him live, he's not even looking at his guitar. He's just looking at the audience, grinning. You know, he's just completely off in a different world. The guy's just absolutely brilliant. I've always loved Billy Zoom. Amazing guitarist, and he has to be on the top 10 list. So, and then of course, I think one of the greatest tragedies of 80s alternative rock was when we lost James Honeyman-Scott from the Pretenders. This guy really had his own unique stamp. Of course, all over this first Pretenders album, Tattooed Love Boys, The Weight. His solo on Kid is just incredible. Here's a guy too, kind of like Dave Gregory, that could just play all types of styles. I think if you really want to get the gist of his playing, though, you have to listen or somehow listen to the complete live at the Santa Monica Civic performance from September 4th, 1981, which is on this Pretenders 2 deluxe box set. The full performance is on there. I originally heard this from a bootleg cassette that someone I knew taped off the radio, but here it is in all its glory, and you can see just a couple songs in just his amazing guitar prowess. And you know, on record you can tell he's a great guitarist, but live, you know, that he's stretched out more. His solo on Private Life, you know, his solos all over it. Message of Love, The Adulteress, Up the Neck, just tasty guitar lead guitar playing. And his clean guitar playing as well is great with the flanging effect. But I think one of the great guitarists from the early 80s, James Honeyman-Scott, who too influenced a lot of people like Johnny Marr. And it's a shame that we lost him early, because he could have gone on to so many great things. He was just an all-around perfect guitarist with a lot of taste. Another great one too, who influenced me as a guitarist, as a rhythm guitarist, is Peter Buck from REM. For me, he's like the king of arpeggios, next to you know, Roger McGuinn. Peter Buck is like the king when it comes to arpeggios. Look no further than this album here, Chronic Town, the song Wolves Lower. He's doing this crazy arpeggio throughout the song. Just amazing stuff. Plus, he has just a great rhythm guitar style. Of course, this would continue throughout their early albums. Off Reckoning, you've got just an absolute chime fest with Pretty Persuasion. And then you've got the ringing sounds of Southern Central Rain. Good stuff. All over Murmur here. Catapult, West of the Fields, Radio Free Europe. Peter Buck definitely influenced a lot of bands in the early 80s, like Guadalcanal Diary, and the list goes on and on and on. Yeah, very influential, very just nothing flashy, no solos, just really great rhythm, arpeggio guitar playing. And then on Fables of the Reconstruction, he comes up with just great guitar parts, like on Green Grow the Rushes, and the psychedelic tinges on Feeling Gravity's Pull. Great, just great, tasty, rhythmic guitar playing from Peter Buck. I guess my number one has got to be Johnny Marr. As far as the 80s goes, this guy had a completely unique style. Everything he plays is so full of melody, and he didn't even have to play a guitar solo, you know? Look no further than this album. This album alone features the amazing brilliance of Johnny Marr. You've got William, It Was Really Nothing, this amazing guitar riff on What Difference Does It Make? You've got that kind of a vibrato thing going on in How Soon Is Now? Handsome Devil shows his rockin' side. Then you got the clean strum of Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now with that whammy bar. And This Night Has Opened My Eyes with this great chimey part in the middle there, or at the end of the chorus. And just incredible different rhythms. You've got Everything Now. You've got the amazing acoustic Back to the Old House, which definitely has like a Burt Jansch kind of vibe and influence. And then all over the first album, you've got just chime galore. Reel Around the Fountain. Not only is the guy just an incredible guitarist, totally unique, just an amazing songwriter. I mean, the Smiths would not even be around without Johnny Marr. I mean, if it comes down to the music and the guitar playing, you know, Morrissey is just the cherry on top. That just adds to even more brilliance. But yeah, Johnny Marr to me was the best and my favorite guitarists of 1980s alternative music. Another great moment is the very coda of Pretty Girls Make Graves, where it's just, he's just chiming away and it fades out. And then, of course, you've got the Headmaster Ritual on Meet Is Murder. That opening guitar line is just amazing. It goes on for about a minute or so. And then he does a lot of great acoustic stuff like Rush 'Em Ruffians. You've got The Queen Is Dead, where he does a lot of glam rock on that opening track. He can do it all. Johnny Marr can do it all, and he doesn't even need to solo. Guy's absolutely phenomenal. So those are just 10 examples of some great 1980s alternative guitarists. If you have any you want to throw in the comments, let me know. I know there's plenty more. Another shout out to Robert Smith. He's another great guitarist from The Cure. I know there's more I'm missing, but these are 10 that I just really love. Let me know in the comments section. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.